Along with all the other things we need to adapt once Rel's Midscope update hits live service, we have to ask ourselves which of Rel's spells is the best to max out first. In this video I will tell you at least what I think is going to be the best ability to max out first. To do that, I'll go over all of them to see what we gain when putting points into them. Let's start with Shattering Strike. As you can see, you for one reduce the cooldown of it per half a second per point you put into there. Don't ask me why the numbers are so weird in the screenshot, by the way. I took this right from the PvE and for some reason it looks like this. But yeah, the cooldown decrease you get is very insignificant and for sure would not justify maxing out this ability first. But when we look at the damage you get when putting points into it, we can definitely have a conversation. Because 35 damage per point is nothing to cough at. Every single extra point you put into it can certainly make a difference in fights. So let's mark Shattering Strike with a maybe for now and move on to Crashdown. When looking at Crashdown, we can straight up say that we don't care about both Crashdown and mount up damage. This might not be the case if you play lane Rel, but for support Rel this really doesn't matter. Let's look at the other two and see if they make putting points into Crashdown more attractive. We have for one the shield strength, which goes up by 25 per point, and the unmounted attack speed boost, which increases by 5% for each point. Both of these sound decent, but there is one thing that makes maxing Crashdown first really bad in my opinion. You might have already noticed, but the cooldown is not going down when putting points into it. At least it looks like it. Right there. And for me, this makes it a really bad option for maxing it out first. It is kinda ironic that this used to be the spell that the majority would max out first, since in my opinion, it should be maxed out last after the rework. This leaves us with full tilt. Let's also ignore the extra damage we get when maxing this one, which leaves us with the passive and the active movement speed. The passive movement speed goes from 5 all the way up to 50, meaning it goes from barely noticeable to really impactful, especially when playing a roaming playstyle. But also, the active movement speed gets boosted significantly when maxed out. It goes from 30% to 50% when running towards an enemy or the targeted ally, which of course is also very effective, both in lane and out of lane. I think it's obvious at this point that I'm confident that maxing out full tilt first is going to be the way to go. Its insane utility is undeniable, and it easily outshines the other two options, with better consistency and effectiveness. After that, considering that Crashdown doesn't really get much when putting points into it, maxing Q will probably be the way to go, just to get that extra damage in there. It's really surprising that Crashdown went from maxing first to maxing last, just like that. But the fact that the cooldown doesn't go down on upgrade really kills its viability as a max first option. But that's at least my opinion. Alright, and that's gonna be for this video, and I'll see you all in the next one.